When Shawn asked me to be on the show, I have to say I was surprised. But if you thought I was surprised, you should have seen my wife's face. Boy, was she shocked. Yeah.
Welcome to Closet Cases, the show where LGBTQ comedians and performers tell their coming out and transitioning stories live on stage and later get interviewed in a podcast. Today we have David Hodorowski. You know him from VH1 and MTV, and you might have heard his original story on this podcast.
I kid. I would only, my wife's name would be Jake Gyllenhaal. Love her. Oh my God. But I had no idea I was gay. Like, I lived the first 18 years of my life not knowing I was gay. There were plenty of pink flags that came up, though. Lots of them. I distinctly remember being, in 1986, having the HBO guide come to our house. I don't know if you millennials, you have to remember this, that when you were back in the 80s on television, they used to have this book that was mailed to you called TV Guide that you would have to actually read to see what was on. It was crazy. And then you would go up and change the channel. Totally different world back then. But my mom had cable. They were so chic. So, but they got the HBO guide, and I remember flipping through it, and I came upon this image of, it was this movie called The Coca-Cola Kid. And there was this shirtless photo of Eric Roberts of Lifetime fame. I don't know if everybody knows Stalked by Your Doctors 1, 2, and 3. There he was, naked, about to make out with a girl, and I don't know why, but I was a turned-on 7-year-old. I know Roy Moore would have loved it, but yeah. But I was a boy. Anyway, but for some reason, that stuck with me. Like, I remember that image.
David, welcome to Closet Cases.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Yes, it's very exciting. Now, do you feel it's pretty great you come full circle now that you had a crush on Eric Roberts and now you work for Lifetime?
Absolute circle jerk right there. That's what that is. Absolutely. I had no idea that that Eric Roberts was in The Coca-Cola Kid. But through this little thing called the internet, I was able to find out that, yes, indeed, it was Eric Roberts, and I was a little shocked. I would have to say that. Yes.
That you had a crush on.
That I had a crush on a young Eric Roberts.
From Stalked by My Doctor 1, 2, and 3.
Absolutely.
A relative of Julia Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also from It's My Party, which was one of my favorite gay films of the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Starring a young, vivacious Margaret Cho as well as the gay best friend.
Oh, wow.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, my God. You've really got to see it. It's very good.
I need to watch it.
Warning. It's a tear gusher. Gusher, yes.
Uh-oh. And this guy over here, Waterworks.
But then fast forward a little bit, you're in middle school, or before that I was actually playing, I was forced to play t-ball, which did not like at all. Team sports, not into it. I liked piano lessons, pink flag. So there was me, like, in right field, sitting in the grass, making necklaces of, like, David, it's coming to you! And I did catch one ball, and I got the game ball, so that was really good. But anyway, middle school, hormones are just flooding through your body, pubic hair is just blossoming. There were those middle school showers. I was so afraid to be in there, but still... you know exactly William Mullen. He's been in a middle school shower like last week. Yeah. He knows. But what would come in the mail then? But like the weekly shopping circulars, like, oh, from Shopko, and look, there's a sale on Hanes at Penny's. Ooh. And all those really hot guys modeling their pants and underwear and everything. I love the Fruit of the Loom guys for some reason. And then there was that Sears Christmas catalog with all the guys in jockeys. I love jockeys. They were just so hot. And I just remember flipping through it and being like turned on. Like I shouldn't like this. I shouldn't, but I did. But then middle school happened, And I joined the band. I started to play the clarinet. Ooh. Let's get this reed nice and wet. Oh, man.
Do you still play piano and clarinet or any instrument?
I still have my clarinet. It's actually in its little case next to my bed, underneath my nightstand. And
Future suitors,
beware!
hello,
everybody. I will serenade you. I think I need to give it a little tune-up, though. I've not played it in a very, very long time. Sorry to my high school band teachers out there who are definitely listening to this podcast and thinking, he must still be playing some music. But no, sadly, I do not. I only sing karaoke now.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yes.
I think you should take your clarinet down to Uncle Charlie's next time we go. Because some people do
Definitely.
bring their instruments, which is kind
For
of
real.
ridiculous and hilarious all at the same time. Now, I mean, the weekly shopping circulars. Oh my God. So I remember that. My older brother used to get the International Mail catalog, which was part of my self-discovery.
That was part of mine as well. I didn't quite get to it during the performance, but that also accidentally came to our door, and it soon found itself under my dresser as well.
You're like, oh, David, where'd that International Mail go?
Because of course my mom needed to order something from that as a single woman at that point. Of course, she wanted to order from the International Mail. She needed those see-through underwear.
Well, who was the target for that in your home?
Who was the target anywhere for that?
Did everyone just get it?
I think it was automatic. If you got the Sears catalog, I think they used the same mailing list and they gave it out to you. So that's probably what happened. But I'm really, really thrilled that we lived in a time when that was something that little gay boys did not end up in the trash. It was a treasured memento that you needed to hold on to.
I loved middle school, and then all of a sudden high school came. I became very dramatic in high school. I was in everything. I was in drama club. I was in improv. I was in forensics. I was in band and jazz band and choir. Like, I was in everything. I loved it. But I was, I still had no idea I was gay. But all these guys were like, "Hey, look, everybody, it's David. Give me Hodorowski." What does that mean? Fuck you. I like women. I have a crush. But I was I was too concerned with my clubs and my activities and working. I worked at the toy department at Shopko, stocking shelves. And then I just remember, all of a sudden, in the sporting goods department, this guy named Brandon, who was from Chippewa Falls, he started working. Brandon, sporting goods. One day, though, I remember my senior year, he invited me on a want to go swimming together? Sure. So we drove to the swimming hole, we're at the lake, and then he takes off of his shirt, and he, had a six-pack and pecs, so... That was spank bank material for years, months to come at least. Oh my God, he was just stunning.
Wow, oh my God, all your activities, how did you even have time to go swimming with Brandon from Chippewa Falls?
I don't even know. I did wake up early, and my mom was, I'd say, pretty angry at me because I was a sophomore without a car yet, and she would drive me to school for my WSI class in the morning too, water safety instruction.
Oh, so you did that too?
Oh yes, I did everything. I really was one of these kids who I think I maxed out on credits and extracurriculars. When you look at my name in the yearbook below, in the back of the reference, it has my name, and then there's 4 columns of numbers and pages that I'm on because I was involved in everything. I loved everything. I don't know why, but yeah, pretty busy. I have no idea how I found time to masturbate, but I did.
I know, yeah.
I did.
And thinking about Brandon, of course.
Oh, Brandon.
Are you guys still friends, or do you?
We're Facebook friends.
You're Facebook friends, but maybe not.
We're not like BFFs. He's pretty much almost married now too.
Oh,
so
wow.
Good for him.
So that ship has sailed. There's no chance with Brandon.
Well, Brandon and I had a little teeny chance in New York, but he was just visiting. He likes the cities. Let's just leave it. Yeah, he's there.
And he's straight. Or
No,
he's gay?
very gay.
Oh, was he
Very
gay
gay.
then?
I had no idea he was gay. I think he probably knew, but I wanted him to be gay.
Oh.
And then years later, yes, of course, he came out, flaming colors.
I feel like you had a lot of gay kids in your high school.
There were a lot of gay kids. Well, I think we have the same amount as anywhere else, but it was just I guess, I don't know, they just somehow all, we found each other, I would say, more in that sphere.
He found you at the mall.
I found them at the mall.
Yeah, let's go swimming.
Those ladies are in golf. She's anti-Bill Frist at the time. No Republican. I don't know who else. It's just there's a lot of gay boys in my class, and I'm very proud of that.
Being in school, I mean, outside from people calling you David Gimme Hodorowski, did you get bullied in school often? Or
I wouldn't say that I was really bullied because I wouldn't consider myself the most popular kid in school either, but I was just friendly with everybody. Like, I didn't mind being friends with any kind of person because I was involved in all these activities anyway. Like, I was friends with the band people. I was friends with the theater people. I was friends with some kids from student council. And then for some reason, I was in biotechnology and I was hanging out with, like, the cool girls, the coolest high school girls, and we were all in class together. And we got partnered up and we became friends then. So, like, I was always more friends with, like, the theater kids. I remember one kid bullying me, like, just after school. They saw me at a stoplight, and I was driving across back home, and they threw a Gatorade bottle into my window, and it landed in my car. I was like, oh my God, at least it was closed. Like, David, faggot. And they rode off. I'm like, that really just really upset me. And I got really upset. I was very saddened by that. But then years later, I ran into one of these kids. He's like, I am so sorry about that. I remember doing
Aww.
that. And he's a total liberal now too. Hates all this Trump bullshit that's going on. And is very vocal about it. And so he's still very, very, I think, that maybe that played a role, like seeing my disappointment and sadness maybe changed his mind back then.
Oh, wow.
Realize.
So your just general reaction to it is what maybe planted a seed to help him become less of a dick.
But then one of my brother's good friends married the guy who was the other guy in the car, and that's really good friends with his sister, his twin sister.
Oh.
And he got left. Well, the twin sister was in a grade ahead, so you do the math. But anyway, but he's still all right. But my brother's friend is married to him now, and he's a darn good guy.
Aww.
And I feel like it's just youthful transgressions, but hey, they make a lasting impression. So maybe think twice before saying that bad thing about some kid or reacting in some stupid way that maybe that's going to be an event that will shape the rest of your life. Even though it's so small and trivial at the time, it makes a difference. So
all you bullies listening out there.
Yeah, I'm sure all the bullies are listening to Closet Cases.
It's so fun to think of you as Miss Congeniality of your high school.
Oh, pretty much.
Because you're doing everything.
I was, pretty much.
David, now look
For
at you
real.
here at A&E, doing a little bit of everything.
Absolutely, Miss Congeniality. I need my sash.
But also, like, around that same time, 1995, 96, all of a sudden, we got this thing called the internet. And I would sit up late at night and play SimCity, because, that's what you did. And, but all of a sudden, there would be that Netscape browser just sitting there taunting you, like, click on me, browse, search, see what's out there. Make sure to clear the history. Which I didn't. Yeah. So I would click through all these things. All of a sudden I found this site called hunkhunter.com. It was pretty much like the Pornhub of 90s gay erotica, but with just photos, and they would load very slowly. Get to that one point. Jocks. Yeah. Oh, so sexy. Yeah. those were the days. They sure were. Oh my god! But I still was not really convinced I was gay. Like I was like, I just like to jerk off to like gay porn. I don't know, but I'm not gay. I just like it. You know, I just like to see it. I just like to do that. So later, like a couple months later, my mom's computer got sick with the virus. So she brought it in, and they brought it back. Like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but your computer has full-blown AIDS. It was 1996, so still no prep yet. Still no prep. Very sad. Very sad. So, had to get a new one.
Now, what's interesting, you talking about the internet, is that even though you were watching gay porn, you didn't really consider yourself gay. What do you think that was all about?
I didn't realize. I guess I never realized that I was gay, or that there. Like, I knew that there were gay people out there. I just didn't really think about this in like my small Midwestern town. You never, they were other people in big cities and things like that. And I guess I was just more interested in seeing, oh, that's a naked guy. Oh, that's cool. He's going to have sex with a woman, but that's going to be so great for them, But then all of a sudden, I just started noticing, oh, I'm really focusing on the guys more than the girls. But I definitely remember watching like my first pornos back in like middle school or something like that too, being completely turned on by, I guess, the action. But it was more of like, oh my God, look at that hot guy banging that girl. Good for him.
Right.
I love him. She's so lucky.
She's a star.
Oh, she's such a star. Yeah.
I mean, the same thing, I think, with a lot of people out there. I used to look at my brother's magazines, and then there'd be like that one gay page at the end, and I just like let it just sit there, and I just look at it.
The gay page? In like what?
It'd be like one of those like sort of like a whole magazine of just like couples and porn, but then there'd be like advertisements in the back for other magazines, and I would just sort of land and stay on the gay page for a hot sec. I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I didn't know any gay people growing up either. There was nobody. And the ones that I did know of, they were always bullied and made fun of. And you never wanted to be that. I don't want to be bullied and made fun of. Nobody wants that at all. So, yeah, I didn't even come out until college, like my first semester.
Right.
Figured it all out.
But anyway, I remember it was New Year's Eve, 1996 to 1997. I was at the gym teacher daughter's house, Nikki Soper. We were partying, and I was there with my good friend Jamie, and like with this guy Eric Colby, who was at he was in all the theater stuff. He was from this small town, but he was at the party. He used to spray paint his shoes silver. Like, oh my God, they're so cool. I just had such a crush on him. He was in Gypsy with my friend Tracy, and I went to go see all the performances of Gypsy with Tracy, and I was just really just like, he's just so cool. He's like gender fluid. I don't know. He's like into everything. And then we were sitting outside at Nikki Soper's house, and my friend Jamie's like, "Why? I dare you to kiss me." Like, okay. So we French kiss, and she's like, "I dare you to kiss Eric." I'm like, okay. He's like, I can't believe you just did that. Like, I know either. We drank so much booze that night, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I had shit my pants. I can just remember that. Like, woke up like, oh no. Oh, threw them in the garbage outside, just freeballed it the rest of the day. So that's how I entered 1997. Naked and afraid. Yeah.
How did this whole shit your pants thing happen?
God. Well, made out that night, and but we were high school students, and we were drinking, and I was kind of still a new drinker, so I had a lot of probably cheap vodka that night. Passed out on the floor downstairs, and then woke up in the middle of the night like, I don't feel. Oh my God, what happened? And when you have that realization, you're like, oh shit.
Right, literally. Literally.
Gonna have to just throw these out. See you later, Calvin Klein's.
Oh, Calvin Klein's in high school.
I don't know if I was wearing Calvin Klein's. It was probably Fruit of the Looms or something. Yeah, definitely.
So how was that like to kiss Eric? And was he your first
gosh.
kiss? Did you kiss girls before?
I had my first French kiss in 7th grade, and I definitely remember that because all of a sudden I was in a relationship, quote unquote, with Jesse Walker.
Oh, Jesse Walker.
But we sat next to each other at lunch during middle school every single day during the week. And then it was Friday, and I was like, I'm going to kiss her. And then it was, it's time to get on the bus. And I just pushed her against the locker, and I made out with her quick.
Wow.
And then...
So aggressive.
Yes, very aggressive. It's like, I'll see you next week. Like, okay, bye. And I got on the bus, and my next door neighbor was like, man, look at you. High-fiving. It was just awesome. Like, I felt so cool. And then I definitely remember the next day on Saturday, I had a friend over, and one of Jesse's friends, my mom was like, David, you've got a call. And it was my friend Jesse's friend Rainey was on the call, and she's saying, hey, David, Jesse thinks things are moving too fast. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So then Monday I didn't sit next to her. Tuesday I didn't talk to her. Just very freaked out. And then we never really connected ever again. Fast forward about 20 years later, I find out that Rainey had a crush on Jesse and was trying to get with her. So she was very jealous about this whole relationship that was starting. Little did she know that it was never going to last. But still, I didn't know that I was coming in between some lesbian loving thing that was happening.
Wow. Now, she out lesbian?
I don't know if she's out. I know that I don't want to speak on her behalf, but fluid, perhaps.
Maybe fluid.
Yeah.
Well, so this Eric guy, so
Eric Colby.
you get dared to kiss Eric.
Yes.
And so how was that for you?
I was pretty excited about it. I think always had a crush on Eric because he was always in plays, and he was from this small town called Stanley Boyd. 2 names, because there was two towns. I went to the one high school. So he would come to our big town of Eau Claire and do the shows and everything. And I just was immediately drawn to him, and we became friends. And he would always be in Eau Claire, and then we would go out and visit him too in Boyd. And we just became fast friends. And even with his friends, I became friends with. So it was this really neat time and place where we were all together. And then on New Year's Eve... he was at the party, and then my friend Jamie dared me to kiss him, and I totally did. And I remember being, heart racing, loving every moment of it. Like, can I just do that all the time? Absolutely.
Wow. Was that sort of a realization for you?
That was definitely a huge realization that night. I kissed a guy. I kissed a boy, and I liked it. And I totally liked it. Yes.
Is he gay?
Yeah, he was very gay, but he had a crazy, crazy life. This man moved to L.A., became a model, eventually moved to New York for a little bit, then moved down to New Orleans, was there during Katrina. Was one of the last people to be evacuated, and then moved back up to New York and was living here, and we would see each other here and there. And then it was about 9 years ago this year, but something happened. He was in line. He was at the carousel in Central Park, and it didn't stop going that day. For some reason, it just was going around and around and around, and all the children on it started crying, and their parents are trying to take them off, and he was, sitting on there laughing and then getting a little sick, like, oh, God, I don't like this. So, he went over to the West Side, popped over, got a bottle of beer, and then went to a McDonald's just to use the restroom and dropped dead of an aneurysm right there.
What?
It was insane, yeah. And so crazy. Yeah, he was just such a neat guy, Eric Colby. And if you knew him, you know the light and vibrancy and just absolute fun that this man brought to the world. And he's like a comet, I guess, shooting across for a little bit and then out. But yeah, it was an absolute joy and privilege to know him. I'm still friends with all of his friends too. We're all still close. My first roommate in New York was with one of his best friends. So yeah, Eric will always be part of my life.
I graduated that year, and I went to college in my hometown, and it was September 1997, and I started showing up at Racy Delaney's Very Coffee Lounge, and I was introduced somehow to this guy, Scott, who was, he was very handsome. He had bleach blonde hair and raver pants, and like you're cool. He's like, oh, he's gay. Like, okay. And then we started talking and laughing, and oh my God, Scott's so funny. Scott, wow, I'm still not sure about myself. And then he was like, could you give me a ride? I'm like, yes. So I gave him a ride back to his house on Hudson Street, and was like, all right, well, it's so nice to meet you. We should hang out again. He's like, yeah, I'll be at the coffee shop tomorrow. You should come with me. Like, okay. Holy shit, okay. Bye, Scott. See you later. I'll see you tomorrow. And then I remember driving home in my gray Ford Tempo, and I touched the seat where he just was, and it was still warm. I was like, he was just here, and oh my God, I think I like him. Like, am I gay? Am I? Like, I really like this guy. Weird. And I just went home, and that's all I could think about. Like, I just can't wait for the end of the day. I'm going to go to Racy's tomorrow night. I'm going to see him tomorrow. I'm going to see him. And then I showed up, and he was there, and we talked, we laughed. Oh, Scott. And then that night, he was like, do you want to come over to my house? I'm like, yes! Yeah. And we went upstairs, and I stayed for the next 7 months. We're like, oh my God. Little did I know, I was not a gay man, I was a lesbian, so moved right in. Really nice. So, but we had a relationship. I was like, I can't believe this, I'm gay, I have a boyfriend. I would not want to be gay if I didn't have a boyfriend. I just know that right now. But we were in love.
So I totally relate to you about not wanting to be gay without a boyfriend, because it was really scary, right? The concept of coming out and being alone.
Exactly.
Is that how you felt? Or did you pressure him into getting to a relationship, or was it pretty
No, it was pretty
easy?
mutual.
Nice.
Yeah. I think he was open to it, and I was definitely open to it.
Aw. Then was he just coming out himself?
No, he was very gay. And he was one of the first, I guess, out gay people that I met in college. So we just hit it off, and then, started a little relationship.
And then you were together for 7 months, right?
7 whole months.
I mean, for like 18-year-old,
oh my God, that's a long time.
Decades.
He even had mono, so we had those health issues involved too. So I went down to Milwaukee to visit him while he was sick.
Look at you, caretaker,
I did.
David Hodorowski.
And I drove him to Chicago too to go see Rent. The touring company, because he had never seen it. So that was his birthday gift from me to him.
Oh,
how sweet am I?
I know, you're the best. How are you not gobbled up already?
Oh, I know. Scott.
One of my best friends from high school, Tim, he showed up. My friend Tim, he's here. He's here. He's gay too. We came out together. Anyway, so I just started having, whatever. We were in a relationship, Scott and I, and then I came home one day and I was like, Neil, I gotta tell you something. And we were sitting on the swings next to our house. He's like, what, you're gay? Like, how'd you know? He's like, everybody at school already knows. Like, what? Okay. Cool. But then I was like, I'm really afraid of telling mom and everything. Don't worry, it's okay. So a couple of months went by and I was sitting at home in between classes and I was cooking shrimp scampi, and my mom walks in from work like, oh, hi, David. Let's have some lunch together. And she's like, I gotta ask you something. Are you and Scott just friends? I was like, no, we're not. I knew it. Like, you did? Oh my God, Mom. We cried, we hugged, we laughed. She's like, how did you know? She's like, I've always known. Your grandma knows too. Like, oh my God. So anyway, she was like, well, just don't tell your father unless, because they were divorced at that point. Don't tell your your father unless there's a group of people around you. And, okay, Mom. I will take that to heart. But then that fall in October, Matthew Shephard was murdered, and my mom came to she came to the vigil with me, which I was very proud of, that my mom stood there with us side by side.
It's so sweet about your mom being so supportive and taking you to Matthew Shephard.
It just felt so important that my mom was unconditionally loving of me from go. She would never waver in her support of me. She said that she just always knew. I just always knew. Like a mother knows for some reason. They're with you. They see you waking up. They see you every day. They know. Growing up, they know it.
You took Scott to rent. I know you're
Scott
gay.
to rent. I know my roommate. I'm crashing in his room, Mom. Yeah. You're not putting this together, are you? No.
But do you think moms, you're not the only story I've heard where the mom is very accepting, but then also will recommend you don't tell dad.
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad had a little history of, not being too kind and had a temper. We'll just leave it at that right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dad, she was just always worried about my health and safety, or all of ours. She was very supportive. But when Matthew Shephard was murdered, that just became this huge moment in time. And if you didn't live through it, I don't know anything else now that can really compare to that, because it really was a turning point in gay coming out, I would say, especially, it was right after Ellen had come out on national television, but this was a backlash to that, and it was very strong, and it had ramifications, I would say, across every single spectrum of life, because since then, we've celebrated so many coming out days. We've had so many gay television stories. They had Matthew Shephard shows on Broadway as well.
Right.
And
the Laramie Project.
The Laramie Project, yes. And then this past week, it's been 20 years since he was murdered.
Right.
And his ashes are finally put to rest in the National Cathedral. What an honor for our nation and for him. It's just, I don't know, that moved me so much this week. But that day, I just remember that vigil in our town. My mom, I just said, Mom, this could be any of us. She's like, I'll go down there with you. I'm like, oh, Mom, thank you. So she stood there in support. And I remember the television cameras and people being there, and they asked if they wanted to be interviewed. And I was like, Mom, you don't need to. She's like, it's okay, I won't be. But just her being there, just another number, another mother, another person, that's strength and empowerment, and it's okay to be gay.
Yeah.
I don't know, you just have to. You have to live your own truth.
And it's beautiful when your parents are by your side.
Absolutely.
And they're there.
Yes.
Years went by, everything was fine. I brought my first boyfriend from New York home to Wisconsin. He stayed with me at my mom's house, and then we went over to my dad's, to the farm where he was living. And my dad brought John into the barn. He's like, so, John, I gotta ask you something. What's that, Don? Do you like cats? Okay. Clearly, Dad had not figured this out yet. Really over. But then it'll be 10 years ago this year. My mom passed away, and it was very, very awful. And let's bring the room down. But it was like this. We buried her on a Saturday, and then on Tuesday we were with our family, my brothers and my dad, and we were just connecting again with half-price appetizers. I just always remember this because my dad, they always had problems, but he brought out a checkbook from 1991, how poor they were, and what are you doing, Dad? This is all about Mom right now. What the fuck are you doing? Shut the fuck up. And he's like, well, we didn't want to have your sister Heidi because she was going to cost so money. I told your mother to have an abortion. What? What, Dad? What the fuck? But now I give to the right to life. Oh my God. So we all, my brothers and my sister, we went all to the bar. We had shots. Okay, to Heidi! Woo! Dad. And then he says, you kids drink too much. And we're like, you wonder why, Dad. Anyway, my sister goes to the bathroom, and then my dad starts talking to us brothers, and because you're like, you guys should get married someday. And then my dad says, I know about you. And I'm like, you like that I'm gay, Dad? Like, yes, but maybe you just haven't found the right woman yet. Like, that's not going to happen, Dad. It's not going to happen. So my sister gets out of the bathroom, and she's like, what did I miss? What's happening? She's like, you missed it, Heidi. Dad knows David's gay. So I'm like, oh, fuck, I missed that! Anyway, so a couple years later, though, like, I was at a comedy show at the gay bar, and my good friend Nancy Witter was there. And she was performing, and I did a little performance as well, and there was my dad there, too, in the audience. And
First drag show.
his first drag show, yes. But I will always remember that he said, I'm proud of you. So that's where my dad is with me. And I also want to say that right before I got on stage, I got news that my sister Heidi just gave birth. So I'm going to go say hi to her. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I love that your dad was so proud of you in that show.
Yes.
Now, how long did it take for him to come around to that point? How many years do you think?
Oh boy. My dad and I always had a very difficult relationship because after my parents got divorced, we did not see eye to eye at all for many, 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 many years. And then it was, I don't know, it was right around after I had come out to my mom and everything that my dad and I finally had a conversation, and we finally brought up stuff that had happened in the past, and we kind of, we were on a different plane then with our relationship, and I felt really good about that, and I think that he did too. So I was very excited about that. But then years went by, my mom passed away, and then Dad finally, the realization of being gay came out.
Yeah.
And this was probably a year later that I went with my friend Nancy Witter, and she was booked for a comedy show in my hometown by chance on Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, wow.
And my dad, and we created this new show just for us, and little gay comic show at the gay bar. And my dad showed up, and so did a lot of my family as well.
Oh, wow.
It
Came
was
to see little David
my
perform.
grandma came, my aunts and uncles from my mom's side and my dad's side. So it was a really huge night. And it was really a turning point in our relationship. It was but it was also finally like my mom and my dad's side of the family. It was a coming together for all of us kids who had just lost a parent, like a moment of clarity, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And this is one of the good things that can come out of an unexpected passing.
I mean, your family is just lovely.
Oh,
I mean,
sometimes.
what do you think when you get married? Will your dad walk you down the aisle? Do you think?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he would, probably. I just all of my siblings were all very wary of marriage. My two of my other siblings, they have kids, but they're not married. They're with their partners, but it's just such a commitment. No, and the big fanfare of a wedding. I feel like the whole thing of a wedding is just kind of lost on our family. Like, I don't need that. Oh, justice of the peace. Done.
Right, right.
Can we just get to the drinking part? Nobody wants to have the church ceremony. So being walked down the aisle, not one of the biggest bucket list things on my bucket list.
Also, congratulations on the addition to your family, Heidi's new
thank
baby.
you.
That's
Hey.
amazing. I love you get to share that with us on stage at
Exactly.
Stonewall.
Oh my God, she had a baby that night.
Isn't that crazy?
And the craziest thing ever, I found out that she named the baby Arthur David
Aw,
So, like,
Uncle David.
after me and my grandpa.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's really, really sweet.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got to share that with us.
Absolutely. And yeah, oh my God. After the show, I totally was outside talking to her, and she told me this big news. Because right before I got on, she was like, I just had a baby, and I want to tell you the name. And I was like, I can't talk right now because I'm about to, sorry. I've got this 10-minute set to do. I know you've been carrying this baby for 9 months and you named it after me, but whatever. Can it wait?
Aw. Well, David, thank you so much for doing this podcast.
Oh my God.
This has been amazing. And do you want to hear the 3 things I learned from you today, David?
I would love to hear them.
Number 1, I wouldn't touch David's mail-in catalogs. You don't know what's in there. And
Wear
number
some
2,
gloves. Definitely wear some gloves.
Definitely wear some gloves. And also that a first kiss can make you shit your pants.
Absolutely.
And number 3, sometimes you just need to give your parents a little time. And then things are perfect. Or close to perfect.
Close to perfect.
Yeah.
Give them 20 years.
Give them 20 years. It'll be fine. So, guys, to keep up to date with our upcoming live shows, go to closetcasesshow.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And thank you to listening to Closet Cases. Thank you, David Hodorowski.
Thank you so much.
And always remember, it may have been dramatic then, but isn't it hilarious now? Thanks, guys, so much. Yay!